Welcome, fellow freaks, geeks, and nostalgic peeps, to my channel, Slime and Slashers, where, yeah, we talk about everything from Nickelodeon slime to horror movie slashers and everything in between, including books. So this is going to be a very quick video today, guys. It's just going to be about a slasher readathon I got coming up soon in June on my Patreon. I wanted to tell you guys in case any of you wanted to join in, and stay tuned. I will come back after the short intro and I will give you all the deets in case you want to hop on in and join us. Welcome back, guys! Okay, as I said, this will be short and sweet. I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about my Patreon-only readathon happening from June 1st to June 11th. I do have a Patreon. I have never made like an announcement video about it, but for those of you who don't know, there are 3 tiers, 3, 6, and 9. The bottom tier, which I call the Yoo-hoo tier, that is for sprints. Basically, I do sprints 2 times a month for everybody. That includes the lowest tier, and everyone on the lowest tier and above gets their name at the end of my video on a cool little graphic. It might change to a credit roll one day, but right now it's a graphic, and I like that because I can make it all like Kelsey-fied. So after I started my Patreon, people were just hanging out and chilling, and Lexi has a Patreon too. My friend Lexi, check out her Patreon if you're interested. She's got great benefits and perks and bonuses, or whatever you want to call them. She calls her Patreons, and I'm one of them, potatoes. And the different levels are different potatoes. My different levels are different drinks. But when I first started, I was like, what could I call everybody that like something that I like that sounds fun? And I decided on Kelsey corns because I love candy corn and I like corny movies, and you know, Kat's always saying that I love corn and cheese, so I call them Kelsey corns. And so because of that, I started thinking what I could do for this slasher readathon to make it more than just reading random slashers. And just so that you guys know, if you do decide to join in for the readathon is open to the middle tier and the top tier. So that means to the $6 tier, which is called the Barks tier, and the $9 tier, which is called the Southern Pecan tier. That is named after my favorite beer. Everything's named after like a favorite drink of mine. I really should rename it to candy or something, or anything to do with corn, since I can't call everybody Kelsey corns or whatever. But it is what it is. For now, it's Yoo-hoo, Barks, Southern Pecan. And Barks and Southern Pecan levels, those are the levels that I'll be doing this Patreon-only readathon with. I made a special Kelsey Corn Discord, and there is a little area that only the $6 and $9, the Barks and Southern Pecan tiers, can access, that will be used to discuss reads during the readathon. I will do special sprints for those tiers during the readathon, but my favorite part about the readathon is, and I gotta give credit once again to Lexi, she came up with a cute idea a couple of months ago for her Patreon, where she did a little readathon where you could do one prompt or the other and get different little accessories for a potato, like a little potato graphic. And so, you know, if you wanted your potato to wear a hat that's like a sun hat or a baseball hat, you would pick which prompt to do out of those two. So it's basically like choosing either or type of deal. And it was a very condensed readathon. I think it was like 48 or 72 hours or something. So they, you know, basically ended up with one potato, and the idea was just to like dress your own potato. My idea, I kind of jumped off from that, and I asked her if it was okay, and she said of course, but I do want to give credit where credit is due. I'm always big on giving, you know, my inspiration for things and giving credit where that's due, and that was definitely Lexi who inspired this, because I wanted to do something similar with little corn graphic, and at the end I'm going to make everyone a custom killer corn. At first I was just calling them corn slashers, but freaking my friend Sherry, she was like, oh, these are the cutest little killer corns. So essentially we've got 2 corn bodies, and everyone I'm going to make 2, so you could have one of each, or you could have 2 of one design if you really like one more than the other. One is a corn on the cob, and one is a little smiley candy corn. And basically the idea is there's different prompts, and you want to accessorize your corn to give them a disguise and to give them 2 weapons so that the corn becomes a killer corn, aka a slasher. And that is what makes this a slasher readathon. If you're not into slashers but you still want a killer corn graphic, join us at the $6 or $9 level and I will make you a graphic depending on what accessories you earn from completing different prompts. And the prompts are so general. Now, before I go into some details, it is important to note that you're probably going to earn, if you read for 11 days, more accessories than you could put on the 2 corns I'm going to make you. But that means that you're just going to have more choices when it comes to telling me which accessories you actually want to put on your 2 corns. So just keep that in mind. You might earn 3 hats. You might earn 5 pairs of glasses because you read 5 books that fulfills the prompt that would get you glasses. But you're probably not going to use all the glasses. So you have to pick out 1 or 2 of the glasses for your corns, depending on how you want to, dress each of your corns. So the idea is to just, have 2 little cute corns at the end of everything. I'm going to make everyone one who's participating, and I'm going to make them a PNG of each with a transparent background so they could use them. I might also make them a version each with, a little colored background, like a bloody background or something. I don't know yet. Again, you can pick and choose. If you don't want glasses for your corn, and you just want them to have a cute little face, that's fine. And you can have weapons, so a prompt gets you weapons. Different weapons, are going to be awarded for different prompts. At the end, I'm going to give everyone a little form to fill out with what accessories they want on each of their 2 corns. So you could just fill out the little form and I will make the freaking corns for you. It'll probably take me 2 or 3 weeks to get the corns to everybody afterwards, but I'm very excited because I think it'll be fun. And the prompts are so general. There's one that says read a book written by a woman, and that gets you facial hair or a mole for your corn if you want it. It's optional, of course. You don't have to do all the prompts. You don't have to do any of the prompts. If you just want to participate and just read slashers without doing the prompts, that's okay too. But I thought it'd be fun to give somebody a goal on I want to read this so that I can get a little pair of glasses that are super cute for my little corn. And so I've got lots of examples of how you could dress your corn. But honestly, there are hundreds of ways you can freaking combine these different elements to make a little killer corn. And I'm so excited, and I want to thank Lexi again for giving me the inspiration with her cute little potato readathon idea. She didn't make little graphics at the end for everybody, but it was the idea of picking a prompt and then earning an accessory for a prompt you complete to make a little cute potato at the end. And so I'm taking that idea but making it corn and making it slasher related, and also providing you guys with graphics at the end. Again, check out her channel, Books with Lexi, and check out her Patreon if you love her channel, because creators choose to create a Patreon just so that they can help pay for what they're already paying for to maintain their channel, which I pay for a lot, like Canva Pro, which is what I'm using to make the corn graphics. That costs money every month. I also use, what is it called, Storyblocks, which I get really awesome moving backgrounds and audio effects and music that I don't get copyright fees for because I'm paying to be a member to own the rights to use that music. I hate to talk about my Patreon because it makes me feel weird, but if you love my content and you want to see me keep making content and making better and better content, the funds I get will always go back into the content, whether that be for paying for new equipment or upgrades for what I want to do on my channel, paying for books that I will read on my channel for content for you guys, or it might actually be to fund an event. Like I am trying to make a in-person get-together for Old School April next year, which might cost me some money, and so Patreon would help me basically reimburse me for that, because I think it could be a great thing for the channel, for content, for other people who love to interact with people on my channel. I think it'd be a great thing all around. So anyway, that is the basic gist of the Readathon. Join us if you want. You could sign up on June 1st and participate, but if you want to know the exact prompts and plan ahead, you could sign up now. You don't have to stay for long, and no one has to feel obligated. I appreciate everyone, whether or not you're a Patreon. I do appreciate my Patrons very, very much, because they don't have to support me, but they choose to. But you guys also choose to support me in a different way, because not everyone can support in that way. I appreciate the way you guys support me already very, very much, because your time is valuable. And so I really, truly appreciate your time, because you could give your time to anybody. You could watch any video, but you choose to watch and comment on mine, and to help me have some kind of thing to look forward to, have some awesome interaction with a community that I freaking love. So I want to thank you guys for that nonetheless. But I just wanted to give everyone opportunity because I don't really discuss my Patreon very often, and so a lot of you might not know about the Slasher Readathon. I do want to shout out Katrina from Katrina Brown. She just did an amazing KU recommendation for KU slashers. So if you have Kindle Unlimited and you're looking for slasher reads, Katrina has some awesome recommendations, including some books that are some of my favorite slashers ever. Cough Cough Tastes Like Candy, which is basically my favorite slasher of all time. I love that slasher so much. It's got heart, it's got everything, it's got amazing kills. It's not really as much about the mystery, but the whole thing together as a whole, it works so well together as a complete package. That book is so wonderful. I love it. I can't say enough good things about it. I always rave about it. I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop. But yes, she's got great recommendations. I will link her rec video below. I also have a ton of slasher freaking videos up on my channel, and we're talking about videos about slasher movies and videos about slasher books. So I have a huge slasher recommendation video from last year when I did a public readathon for a month last June. I will link that below. It is a long video, but there's tons of recs. Some of the recs I have read since then, and at the time of recording the video I had not read them, and some of the books I don't feel are pure slashers. It's very subjective what a true horror book slasher is, because it's very hard to write a slasher in book form versus movie form. So it's sometimes hard to categorize what actually a slasher book is. Like the book Brother by Anna Alborn. I feel like that isn't a pure slasher, but it's on a lot of slasher book lists. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt, my recommendations, because not all of them are pure 100% slashers. Some of them have slashing or killing, but they might not be considered slashers by your personal definition. Different people have different definitions of slashers. If, you know, a knife is not used or a weird sharp weapon is not used, it might not be a slasher to you. And that is okay, because the definition, it varies. It's subjective, kind of, in a way. I also have discussions of slasher movies with my friend Kat. Also, I've got, I think, a top 10, or 15 favorite slasher video. I can't remember how many top number I gave, but I gave some of my favorite slasher movie recommendations. There is a prompt about slasher movies for the Killer Corn readathon on my Patreon, so you could watch a movie and earn an accessory for your corn, or watch 2 movies and earn 2 accessories for your corn. Alright guys, just wanted to give you a little glimpse of something I'm working on, kind of behind the scenes with my other Kelsey Corn peeps, and allow you the opportunity to decide if you want to join in. Again, no worries if you cannot. You being here really means a lot regardless. And if you read slashers, I still want to hear about it. Even if you're not joining the Patreon, drop down below what your favorite slasher is. Are you going to read some slashers in June just for fun without even joining in on the Patreon? That's cool too. Tell me about what you're looking forward to reading. I always love hearing from you guys. But for this time, that is it for me. Till next time, guys, you know what you can do. Keep on killing it, especially in June for Slasher Month. I should have gotten a knife, but anyway, pretend like I'm holding a knife. Bye, guys.